everyone, and welcome your faces back to another Poppy Playtime video on the channel. So today we have some really interesting news and images that have come from, of course, the Poppy Playtime Discord server. Today we had a member or employee of Mob Games, Zach B, post a few images regarding Chapter 3, and we know this is to do with Chapter 3 because Zach has confirmed this with a follow-up message on Discord. So we have two brand new images that tease Chapter 3, and of course I'm going to be going through them and discussing what we see. And of course I wouldn't be a YouTuber if I didn't ask you to hit like and subscribe, do all the usual stuff, and make sure you're subscribed if you do like Poppy Playtime content, because one of my main games to do theories on the channel is Poppy Playtime, that and Little Nightmares 3. So again, if you enjoy Poppy Playtime, make sure you hit subscribe and be notified when you get my next new video on it. And of course I will be covering Chapter 3 when it comes out, and you can guarantee I will be on it the day it comes out. But anyway, with that shameless self-promotion out of the way, let's get into this video. So, of course, this is going to be a bit of a short video because there are only two images that we can really talk about, but one of them holds some really interesting points. Now, before we actually get into this, I want to point out the file names. So when Zach uploaded these images, they were named these two titles. One was called Image 37, and one was called Image 44. Now that's interesting because it sounds like they have a plethora of images to choose from. Of course, from this we know it's up to 44. So there were 42 other images that must have contained something really interesting, but they specifically selected these two to share. Now, it might be because there's not too much going on in these images, so they're not revealing absolutely a manic amount of stuff, but it is enough that they felt comfortable to show it. But I think from what they've shown, we can get a real sense of where this is going. So let me talk first about Image 37. 37 is an image that catches my eye quite a bit. Now, one of the first things I want to point out is that, of course, we are in the Playcare Center. I believe these images are going to be the first level we sort of walk into in Chapter 3. We can see on the far right at the top, we can see the fake lighting coming from the outside, if you will, like they did in Chapter 2. Simulating the idea of sunshine coming through the windows, like they're not trapped underground. And when I say they, I mean the orphans or the children, because it seems to me that this room is that of the sort of nursery, I'm guessing. And I say this because it's either one, a nursery, or two, some type of sleeping room, or again just a general like observation area. Because I mainly say that because of course it's decorated for children. Something really creepy as well is the walls at the back look like they're set up so someone could observe them through maybe this like one-way type of frame, mirror painting type deal. Of course we see posters everywhere, so perhaps in this room they were obviously advertising a different creature or something fun for the children to read. But behind it there were scientists watching them, their every move. And of course, if that isn't enough to convince you that this room is quite weird, we can actually spot there are beds. So I'm assuming this is, again, they must keep the children in this room, I believe, for most of the time. I guarantee this is one of those ones where they watch their behavior and stuff. But there's something really interesting about this room, and the fact that they actually have gas canisters in it. So of course we know Chapter 3 is very heavily focused on the gas and the red gas and the gas mask, but they have a specific gas canister in here. Now I wonder if that's to purposely put these children who they're observing to sleep. Their experiment. They are deep underground running experiment on kids. Now, something quite interesting as well is with Image 37, they've actually revealed one of the Playcare characters. Now, from the look of it, I have zoomed in, as you can see on the video. Of course, I don't know at the moment because I'm just doing the audio. But as you can zoom in, you can see that there appears to be a type of bunzo creature. It's not as mature as Bunzo Bunny, but it looks to be aimed more at a toddler-based sort of demographic and audience. It still looks like quite a bunny-like, but it's not quite Bunzo. So I think we're looking at a different variation of the toys we see in the main factory. I think this is going to be a different kind of mascot. This is going to be aimed at the children. But interestingly enough, what's more interesting is what it's advertising or what this mascot's pointing to or assisting with. And what I can see is looks like to be some sort of duck. Now, bear with me because I know it seems a bit silly, but what it seems to be sort of suggesting, oh look, is a duck. Now, what I can't figure out is if it's a duck on rails, and I say rails because we can see on the floor as well, as some of the debris is some sort of track. It's either that or a bed frame. But it's either going to be some sort of like train track, like a small one for children to play on or something, or it's going to be a very young child's bed. So, of course, the duck would fit the theme. Now, what's interesting is why would they be, one, recommending that, and two, what the hell is going on down here? But we can see there's a duck on the left of the image, and I do believe, from what I can see there, I see a seat rather than any type of like cot, if you will. So I'm assuming that this is some kind of vehicle within Playcare. Who knows what? Maybe it does work on rails, or if it's one of those old like real toys that you push around, things like that. So let me point out as well the real treasure of this image, and no, I'm not just talking about the treasure box we see on the far right. I'm talking about the fur that's remained on the wall and behind where the frames would stand. As you can see from the image, I don't know the path directly, but it looks to be that some type of creature, similar to how we saw in Chapter 2, has crawled out of this sort of window and climbed or scurried along the side of the wall. As we can see, there are a good few distinguished yellow fur marks. Now, I think this might be hinting towards the new character. Now, of course, we don't know any other detail apart from maybe the teaser, but I don't think this yellow furred creature is the same one from the teaser. I think this is a different enemy, and quite frankly, I'm excited as hell about that. But interestingly enough, aside from that, apart from perhaps the teeth on the wall, I don't really see much more going on in this image. If I do find anything though, I will let you know, of course, within the edit and all that jazz. Oh wow, and somehow we made this video nearly 7 minutes without it being scripted. I do apologise, everyone. But let's get on to the next image. So, image 44. Now, image 44 looks a little bit more intriguing just because this image looks to be more sort of inside the factory, deeper into the factory. More of the backbones, perhaps, more of what's really going on behind the scenes. So I think this room in particular is, of course, I think going to be a puzzle in Chapter 3. I believe this is going to be one of those sort of ones where you have to match the pressure of whatever that puzzle is in the center, because it looks like a pressure plate, if you will. And of course, that tank at the bottom looks to be red, which again matches with that plate. But the one above it doesn't match, and it's yellow, so I do wonder if this is just a single segment of a larger piece within Chapter 3, and of course I assume it will be. But aside from that, you wouldn't have thought much is going on in this image, apart from maybe a few intricate pipe works. But I do think this is a little bit more important, because I believe they have purposely shown us this image because of those containers. Now, it would be foolish to guess what was actually in there, but of course, you know me, I am a fool, and I will guess away. And I do think we are looking at how the formula for the poppy seed is made. Perhaps this is something we have to do in Chapter 3. Perhaps it could even be containing the gas that affects the children. I don't know, but I do feel like these canisters are a lot more sinister than we first are going to assume, because it's just a teaser image. But let me know what you think in the comments below. I'd love to hear what you think. There's a lot going on in these images, apart from maybe the 44 one. Aside from that, there's not really much to see, apart from, of course, a few debris and a box that says fragile, and of course all the little bits in between and the damaged structures and whatnot. But of course, with that being said, let me know what you think in the comments below. I would love to hear your thoughts and theories. As usual, hit like and subscribe to all the usual stuff, and if you love the Poppy Playtime content, make sure you hit subscribe. But with that being said, have a lovely morning, day, or night, wherever you are in the world. Stay safe, and I'll see you all in the next Poppy Playtime theory video. Bye!